So we have our OnShape document created called isometric objects, and we're going to be practicing making basic objects that might use one extrude or two extrudes, and we might need to remove material or add material. So we'll see how to do that here. So we're going to be creating objects from this packet here. On this page, we're going to do number 1 and number 2 together. Number 1 is 4 spaces high and 3 spaces wide. And that's important when we begin our sketch. So let's start a sketch. The best angle for that is the front view. So we're going to draw this on the front here. Select the front plane. Notice it shows up here as our sketch plane. And then I'll press the N key to look directly at it. And I'm going to grab the line tool, and it's always good to attach your objects to the origin. So I'm going to start from the origin with the yellow box. I'm going to go up 4, enter, and it's 1 wide. So after I click, I'll type in 1 and press enter. And it comes down 3. Make sure that's straight up and down. And then this is, let's take a look up here, 1, 2, 2 spaces wide there. So this is, I'm going to type in 2, and then just come right back down to the x-axis here. Make sure it's straight up and down and horizontal with that origin, and then connect it back to the origin. Notice it fills in with gray, so that's a closed sketch. Your sketches have to be closed before they can be extruded. So we'll green check that. And then I'm going to switch to the isometric view, and I'm going to extrude this. And to know how much to extrude it, let's take a look. The depth of this is 3, so it's going to pop out 3. So I'm going to make this 3. Enter. And then green check mark. And there we have our first part. Okay. All right, so for our next part, we're going to create a new part studio. Click the little plus in the lower left, part studio. I'm going to make this part right here. So I'm going to start from the front, and I'm just going to sketch this rectangle and extrude it back, and then I'll show you how to scoop out that hole in the center using a couple different moves. So we're going to start my sketch on the front again. Press N to look directly at it. And I'm going to use the rectangle tool this time. Click at the origin, drag this up, and how wide to make it? Well, the part is 1 space wide, and again 1, 2, 3, 4 high. So I'm going to make sure it's 4 high and 1 wide. Enter. Finish that. Come back out to the isometric. And how deep is this? This is 1, 2, 3, 4 deep. So that's what I'm going to extrude here. Make this depth 4. Okay. So now I want to make a hole on this side. So in order to do that, I need to sketch that square hole there. So sketch. I'm going to choose this right surface as my sketch plane. And I'm going to press N to look at it. And it's a square hole, so I'm going to draw a little square here. And that square is 2 spaces wide by 2 spaces tall there. So I'm going to make this 2 by 2. But it's not quite in the center. So if I look at my sketch, well, it's 1 space from the front edge and 1 space from the top edge. So I'm going to use the dimension tool, which is right here. It looks like this, or you could press the D key. Click on that, and I'm going to click on the left edge of my part and the left edge of the rectangle. Move that number down, and then once it's out of the way, I'll click to place it, and I'll type in 1. And then I'll do the same thing from the top edge to the top edge of that inside. Type in 1 and enter. And now my square is in the right place, so I'll green check mark that. And then I'm going to select extrude. But this time, look at these options at the top. I could add. So if we go out to the isometric, Look, if I select that sketch and I add, notice it makes something pop out. I could do that, but actually I want to remove that space. And I could tell it to go 1 inch through, which is the exact depth of that. Or I could tell it to just go through everything, and that would scoop out a hole no matter how wide my part was. Or I could even do up to a face. I could tell it to extrude or remove up to that face. That's a good option. So I'm going to do that there, and green check mark, and there is my part.